AJC Magic TV. I do welcome you all in. I hope you guys are having a great day today. Hello, Francisco. Hello, Dawn of the Hitchhiking Bones. Hello, Catherine Wilby. Just making sure I'm not forgetting anybody, but I do welcome you in, and welcome anybody who is ninja watching, or if you're watching the replay. Hello, Brittany Mogan. Welcome in. I'm Amy of AJC Magic TV. I do welcome you today, and I will be doing, since I can't get home in time to do a home stream at 6 p.m., I've been carrying some trivia stuff, so that's why a lot of times I do the trivia. If I plan ahead and able to do it earlier or get home, sometimes we'll talk about Disney, and I had planned on, I didn't get a chance that T Marie from Tina from T Marie's place had asked if I wanted to jump on, and I really can at this point because I have a cardio class that I go to, and it's so I don't get done in time to be able to get on other people's live streams that are earlier. And I was looking at to see what her topic and everything was, and I thought about doing the questions, but then I was like, oh wait, I can't, because I took a picture of the questions, but since I'm using my phone to do the live stream, I won't be able to use those questions, so I'll have to copy them and then maybe do them another time, because they look like it was fun. I was listening at the beginning of her stream when everybody was coming on, and they started talking about a few different things, but I'm gonna do those questions at some point, and I'll copy them down or bring an extra phone with me that I can look at the questions, because it looked fun. Talks about different Disney things and characters and stuff. But we're gonna play pop trivia. The way of the pop trivia. Welcome in, Daniel. I did see you this infinity, Daniel. Hope your day is going good. Hope your school year is going fairly well, even though it's new and just got started. I know here in Pittsburgh this morning it was a little crazy because overnight the tropical storm Ida was moving through the area, and a lot of areas did get pretty impacted with flooding. There are some areas where it's pretty low lying with creeks along the side, and they pretty much overflowed, and so some of the areas here got hit really bad with the flooding. Other than that, it has calmed down. It looks like it might rain again here a little bit, and hopefully that tropical storm has moved on. I think we're getting the tail end of it and just the clouds moving in. Welcome in, Candy Mom. Thank you for joining. That's good, Daniel. I'm glad. Yeah, you got best of both worlds, even though you go to school. And if you're lucky, after school, you could go to Disney, or even on your weekends if you're not too overly busy with other items. But I know it's different living there than vacationing there, because I lived there, and yes, it felt like I was on a vacation a lot of times, but you also couldn't do all the parks all the time because you had to do other things in your lives. But the way this pop trivia works, you pick there is 6 categories. There's questions from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. And I will pick someone in the chat that can start it off, and they can pick which category they want. And whoever gets the correct answer first gets to choose the next category. So I know for some age range, the 2000s is probably going to be what you can answer. Other ranges, you might be able to answer all the categories. So I do welcome you in. Daniel, since you are the youngest, hello, John Surpum. I will let you pick a category, Daniel. You can pick the 2000s, the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, or 50s. And actually, it's pretty neat that This kind of almost follows what Pop Century Resort is like, except they don't have the 2000s. They stopped at the 90s there, but that is with that. Hello, Penguin Master. And then they were actually, everybody, if Avery was here, he would take it all. Yeah. Actually, he wasn't in this job last time, but I know Tracy was, and she got a lot of the questions. Okay, so Daniel wants the 80s. So here we go. The category is the 1980s. And here we go. What event took place in Madison Square Garden in 1985 and was seen by over 1 million viewers through closed-circuit television? What event took place in Madison Square Garden in 1985 and was seen by over 1 million viewers through closed-circuit television? And John Surfbum got it with WrestleMania. WrestleMania. I thought maybe when I did see the answer, they would have given a little clue to what type of event. But it was a sporting event, WrestleMania. And Surfbum got it first, so he gets the point. It was WrestleMania. Yeah, I should see if they don't really have categories on there. They just give the thing. Ah, you were there, WrestleMania. Yeah, I thought maybe when I saw the answer that they would have given like a little bit of a clue of like Hulk Hogan or whoever at that time was wrestling. Okay, John, you can pick what category. Oh, so he cheated. You can pick the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s. It actually would have been interesting to see how they would have decorated the earlier decades of Pop Century had that became a fruition. And instead, we all know that it became Art of Animation after sitting there for a couple years after 9/11. But that would have been neat to see how they would have decorated the earlier years of the Roaring 20s and 30s and 40s and stuff, how they would have done that. And John would like the 70s. So here we go. In the movie Dirty Harry, which actor said this famous quote? You gotta ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? In the movie Dirty Harry, which actor said this famous quote? You gotta ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? And Surfbum John got the answer correct with Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood. Good job, John. And Catherine Wilby came right in there at second. Okay, John, you can continue on with the 70s or you can try another decade. And I do welcome you all in and thank you for joining. And if you haven't already done so, please hit that thumbs up button. It does help out the channel and lets YouTube know that we're live and everything. So I do appreciate that. Okay, he would like the 60s. My phone tried to autocorrect his name, I'm sure. Okay, here we go. 1960s. Who created and hosted The French Chef, which debuted in 1963 and ran nationally for 10 years? Okay, Garrett or Michelle, thank you for joining. Welcome in, Jonathan Chong. Thank you for joining. Who created and hosted The French Chef, which debuted in 1963 and ran nationally for 10 years? Okay, Garrett or Michelle, thank you for joining. Welcome in, Jonathan Chong. Thank you for joining. Who created and hosted The French Chef, which debuted in 1963 and ran nationally for 10 years? And John got it again first with Julia Child, and Catherine Wilby was second. I'm going to give Catherine a point for second. But it was Julia Child. Julia Child. I remember watching that the reruns, obviously, because 10 years I was just still a baby by the time that actually would know what the show was. Welcome in, Timothy Rainwaters, Garrett, and John would like the 80s, the 1980s, everyone. We are on the categories, the 1980s. Okay, here we go. What was the public's response when the Coca-Cola Company changed its recipe and released new Coke? What was the public's response when the Coca-Cola Company changed its recipe and released new Coke? And Timothy Rainwaters, he gets a point because it was basically a negative response. An extremely negative response. Yes, I actually like Pepsi a lot more anyway. I will drink Coke, but a lot of times for me, Coke on the fountain, it tastes a little bit better than me drinking it from a can. So I don't mind Coca-Cola, like if you go into McDonald's or at Disney and stuff. But when it's in a can, I'd rather drink Pepsi. So Timothy Rainwaters gets the point. Good job. And I know Jonathan Chong and a couple other people made comments. Okay, Timothy, you can pick the 80s, 60s, 70s, 50s. Yeah, I'm sorry. You can pick 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Each Coke is made differently, Amy. They do it on purpose, yes. I can drink cherry Coke too every once in a while. And Timothy Rainwaters wants to stick with the 80s. Okay, here we go. Next question. What was Lieutenant Pete Mitchell's call sign in the 1986 film Top Gun? What was Lieutenant Pete Mitchell's call sign in the 1986 Top Gun? Not Viper. Hello, Will of the Hitchhiking Bones. Vanilla Coke is your favorite. Yeah, that's not too bad of a flavor there. So, John and Timothy Rainwaters comes in first with Maverick. That was Tom Cruise's character, and it was Maverick. John got it first, and Timothy got it second. I knew I didn't win, so I had to name his buddy Goose, yes. So he killed Goose. Okay. Okay, John, you get to pick the next category. '50s, '60s, '70s, '80s, '90s, or 2000s. Yes, poor Goose. Okay, we are doing the 1970s. Who played Hutch in the TV series Starsky and Hutch? Who played Hutch in the TV series Starsky and Hutch? What'd you say? His goose was cooked. And John Surfbum comes in with the name David Soul. John is on fire. I thought you were working, Garrett. And I'm just joking you. Okay, you can pick the next category, John. Okay, he knows way too much. I'll give you a bonus question there, Candy Mom, if I find a candy question. The 60s, the 1960s. Okay, here we go. I am. You are bothering me, Amy, with your fun string. Hello, Tracy Taylor. What was the name of the talking horse owned by Wilbur Post? What was the name of the talking horse owned by Wilbur Post? And Catherine Wilby gets it first with Mr. Ed. Welcome in, Tracy. Welcome in, Cherie, Surfer Girl. So, Catherine Wilby gets it first with Mr. Ed. I said Mr. Just making sure nobody got it before that. But that's Catherine Wilby, and she liked the 1950s. I'll tell you what, Garrett. I know I put that one small video of the parking lot area where I work, but if I would have actually did a drive stream, I probably would have had a viral video, because one of the side roads, water was coming up out of the manhole cover there this morning on one of the side roads that I drive by, and that would have been a viral video probably. Okay, we're doing the 1950s. Who is best known for his role as Superman in the 1950s television series, The Adventures of Superman? Who is best known for his roles as Superman in the 1950s television series, The Adventures of Superman? You got the wrong Reeves, John, but Catherine Wilby gets it with George Reeves. George Reeves. Way to go, Catherine. George Reeves. Christopher Reeves was more the movie Superman. Yeah, that's true, Garrett, because I thought about that after I got to work. I'm like, I should have just videoed the whole way and then cut it up. Okay, Catherine, you get to pick the category again. We got a tight score here between Surf Bum and Catherine Wilby. But the 1950s, if that was the last category. So let's see, what did she pick? 50s again for Catherine Wilby. The 50s. Okay, here we go. What was the name of the robot in the 1951 film The Day the Earth Stood Still? What was the name of the robot in the 1951 film The Day the Earth Stood Still? And when I was at the Science Center here in Pittsburgh, they had a robot like that. Or a replica of the robot from that movie. Not Robbie, but that's a good guess. What was the name of the robot in 1951 film The Day the Earth Stood Still? And Jimmy? No, not Jimmy. But good guesses. Think of a robot type of name, or a giant, because this one, I think he was kind of big. and kind of big clunky type of looking thing that I remember. Not steel. I'll give a clue here in a moment of like what the first letter of it would be. What was the name of the robot in 1951 film The Day the Earth Stood Still? Welcome in movie mania Nick. Thank you for joining. And you did come up with it, Surf Bum. It was Gort. 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 I was going to give the letter G as a name, and he came up with it there. But welcome in, Movie Mania Nick. Okay, you can pick the category, John. I don't remember the name. In a later show, he was Robbie the Black Robot. Yeah, I know like the Will Robinson one might have been Robbie, but I'm not sure. Okay, the 1990s is the category. 1990s. It's great seeing everyone in the chat here. Okay, here we go. Next question from the 1990s. Which game launched in 1998 included categories called Creative Cat, Data Head, and Wordworm? And I love this game. Always played this with a group of friends, and we were always laughing because I could never do the music part of it at times because I'd be laughing too hard. Which game launched in 1998 included categories called Creative Cat, Data Head, and Wordworm? You're on the like the same line. You got it with Cranium, Tracy Taylor. You got it first with Cranium. So good job. And they did make that Caboodle game also. But Tracy Taylor got it with Cranium. Cranium. That was always a fun game. I always enjoyed that. Okay, Tracy, you get to pick the category. The 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s. Welcome in, Cherie, Surfer Girl. I did think I had caught you earlier, but I wasn't sure if you heard or that I said hello. I just couldn't spell it, yes. So you want to stick with the 80s. Okay, here we go. Oh, no, you're switching categories. We were in the 90s. Okay, 1980s. Which Australian rock band is best known for their 1981 hit, Down Under? Which Australian rock band is best known for their 1981 hit, Down Under? And Catherine Wilby comes in with it with Men at Work. Men at Work. And Cherie got second with Men at Work. Good job, Catherine. I can't remember the name. Believe me, I get all of them mixed up there. But I remember Men at Work. Okay, Catherine, you get to pick the category. 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s. The 2000. Okay, the year 2000. Here we go. For what did the abbreviation Y2K stand for? For what did the abbreviations Y2K stand for? Now, I remember Devo. Whip it good. Hello, Debbie Bernfeld. Thank you for joining. And Timothy Rainwaters and Surf Bum John got it first. Timothy got it first and Surpassing got it second. It was the year 2000. The new millennium, yes. The Y2K. Okay, Timothy, you get to pick the year that you like to have a question from. If I get that song stuck in my head. The computer issue with computers ending in 2000. Yes, I remember that. Okay, Timothy, you get to pick the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s. And he would like the 90s. Okay, our next category is the 1990s. Who was stripped of her national figure skating championship title following an attack on her rivalry, Nancy Kerrigan? Who was stripped of her national figure skating championship titled following an attack on her rival, Nancy Kerrigan? Up in the chat jumped. Surfbomb got it first and Timothy got it second. Tanya Harding. Which was not a computer issue after all. Yes, Hitchhiking Bones. I know I have a lot of friends that went into the IT right at the end of the 90s and really got good jobs because of that happening or possibly happening in the IT field there. Welcome in, T. Marie. Thank you for joining. So, Surfbomb John and Timothy Rainwaters got it with Tanya Harding. So, John, you get to pick the next category when you get a chance. But welcome in, Tina. Welcome in, Debbie Bernfeld. I got Jonathan before. And Nick. Okay, 1970s. We're going back to the 70s. Okay, here we go. In the 1979 Dudley Moore film, 10 introduced many new listeners to which classical composition? Sorry. The 1979 Dudley Moore film, 10 introduced many new listeners to which classical composition? Okay, Debbie, thank you. And Surfbum John got it with Ravel's Bolero. Ravel's Bolero. And as I was saying that, Catherine got second place because she got the full name. So John and Catherine, good job. And welcome back, Dawn. I know you've been in and out there, but thank you. Okay, John, you get to pick the category again. Catherine, okay, Catherine, you can pick the category then. Make sure I didn't miss it. Catherine Wilby, you can pick the next category. 60s. Okay, here we go, the 1960s. Which actress starred as the doomed Marion Crane in Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 film Psycho? Which actress starred as the doomed Marion Crane in Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 film Psycho? And John got it first with Janet Leigh. And Catherine, you were close second there with Janet Leigh was the doomed woman in the shower in Psycho. I remember when they first built, I know at Universal Studios Hollywood they have a Psycho house, but they used to have a Psycho house. I'm not sure if it's still there on the Universal property in Orlando too, because you used to be able to enter. They used to have the Hard Rock Cafe right outside of that area too, but it was back in the one area as you exited the park to go to the Hard Rock Cafe. I'm not sure if it's still back there or not. I've never seen that film. Oh wow! Alfred Hitchcock used to be on. He would have a thing, and I know the birds and that stuck out the most. And then there was the other one where I think it was Jimmy Stewart. He's looking out the window at the apartment buildings, and a murder happens and all that stuff. But yeah, it's for that time. Now you kind of laugh at it because it's a classic, and you're like going. But in those days, it was kind of scary. Okay, the Rear Window. Yes, I couldn't remember that one, but I do remember him like sitting there looking out and watching everything. I might have seen even a newer version of the Psycho movie that they might have came out with. I can't. They're always updating different things. Okay, John, you can pick the next category. The 70s. Okay, we're going back to the 70s. Which R&B band's debut single Car Wash was a #1 hit and notable success of the 1970s disco era? Which R&B band's debut single Car Wash was a #1 hit and notable success of the 1970s disco era? What was the name of the band? Movie Mania Nick? And Daniel Disinfinity gets it with Rolls Royce. Welcome to the board, Daniel. Disinfinity comes in with a Rolls Royce. So for the first time, Daniel, you get the answer, get the category. The question, I'll read it again, the question, but it was which R&B band's debut single Car Wash was a #1 hit and notable success of the 1970s disco era. And I know there was a movie Car Wash, but what was the name of the band who did the song Car Wash? And Daniel got it with Rolls Royce. So Daniel, you get to pick the next category. You can do the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s. And good job. So pick the next category, Daniel. The 90s. Hello, Kelly of the Mickey Bunch. Thank you for joining. Here we go. It is the 1990s. Which actor and singer sang which actor and singer sang the theme song to the 1999 film Wild Wild West? Which actor and singer sang the theme song to the 1999 film Wild Wild West? And Movie Mania Nick and Brittany Mogan comes in second place. But Movie Mania Nick gets it first with Will Smith. Will Smith. Way to go, Nick. And way to go, Brittany. You guys got in there real good. Okay, Movie Mania Nick. The categories are the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or the 2000s. So you can pick which category you'd like to have a question from for the next question. The 80s. Welcome in, Kelly, the Mickey Bunch. Thank you for joining. Okay, here we go. 1980s. Roger Clemens set the record for the most strikeouts in a 9-inning Major League Baseball game in 1986. Did he strike out 17, 20, or 23 batters? Roger Clemens set the record for the most strikeouts in a 9-inning Major League Baseball game in 1986. Did he strike out 17, 20, or 23 batters? And John, Surfbomb, and Daniel get it with 20 batters. So John, Surfbomb, and Daniel get it first with 20 batters. Good job, John and Daniel. And I did see a bunch of other 20s, so good job. Yes, he is fast. Okay, John, you get to pick the next category. The 70s. Okay. Here we go. Yvonne Gugalongo is a famous name from the 1970s in which sport? Yvonne Goolagong is a famous name from the 1970s in which sport? And Surfbomb got it first with tennis player. And Catherine Wilby got it second. Tennis. From tennis. That's all they give. It was tennis. Okay, John, you get to pick the next category. I have to get movie questions for you, Movie Mania Nick. I'll have to get my movie trivia cards out one of these days. 80s. Late 80s. Okay, here we go. Name the year. Former pop singer Sonny Bono is elected mayor of Palm Springs, California. The PepCon explosion occurs in Nevada. Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev visits the U.S. Here's the question. Name the year. Former pop singer Sonny Bono is elected mayor of Palm Springs, California. The PepCon explosion occurs in Nevada. Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev visits the U.S. You guys are close, but not 89, not 83, and not 87. But good guesses. What year did Mikhail Gorbachev, Sonny Bono become mayor of Palm Springs? Not 1986. Oh, you guys are dancing around the number. Our PepCon explosion in Nevada. Now, none of you guys, you're totally missing the number. Not that, you guys are all guessing, but what year in the 1980s was the former pop singer Sonny Bono become mayor of Palm Springs, the PepCon explosion in Nevada, and Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev came to the United States, and Tracy Taylor finally guesses it, 1988. 1988. Good job. You can pick the next category. Welcome in. This Our Dreams, Jeff or Angela. Welcome in. I must have missed you, Jonathan. Let me take a look back. Sorry. I see 86. Yeah, I just see 1986, Jonathan. I'll give you the second place point then, Jonathan. Because I might have jumped and I missed it totally. And you like the 80s, Tracy. Okay? And I'll give you a point, Jonathan, for second place. Sorry about that, Jonathan. Okay, here it is from the 1980s. The best-selling arcade game of all time was launched in Japan in 1980. Which game was it? The best-selling arcade game of all time. And Surf Bum John got it first with Pac-Man. And This Our Dreams got it second. And I gotta switch cards because I did this one before. So let me grab a different one here. Okay. Next category. Yeah, I still love that game, but I like Mrs. Pac-Man a little bit better. But I still play both of them. The 70s. Okay, name this year in the 1970s. Name the year. New York Yankees clinched their 22nd World Series championship. The game Hungry Hungry Hippos is introduced by Hasbro. The CBS soap opera Dallas is launched. Name the year. Not 77, not 76, not 73. And Surfer Girl gets it with 1978. Cherie Surfer Girl gets it with 1978. Good job. Level 256 is the broken level for Pac-Man. Well, I never got past maybe level 4 at the most. Unless I was playing like on my Atari or anything like that. Okay, Cherie, you get to pick the next category. It's either 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s. Yeah, I never thought it went that high either. Because I was lucky I got out of like level 4. Okay, Cherie, you can pick the next category. 50s, 60s. Okay, she's going with the 1960s. Here we go. Which style of pants flaring out from the bottom of the calf became fashionable for both men and women in the 1960s? Yeah, I never beat Mario either. Bell bottoms and surf bum comes right in there before you, Cherie. But John surf bum, Cherie was second. It was bell bottoms. Good job, everyone. Bell bottoms. Okay, John, you get to pick the next category. Bell button. Okay, Cherie, you get to pick the category again. His comment got retracted. Okay, then you get it first, Cherie, and let me see who came after you. Catherine Wilby got the next second place. So you can pick the next category, Cherie. 60s, 70s, 50s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s. Unless you already said it and I missed it. Staying with the 60s. Okay, here we go. Which brothers had Which brothers had a 1964 hit with You Lost That Lovin' Feeling? Which brothers had a 1964 hit with You Lost That Lovin' Feeling? Tom Cruise. Good one, Candy Mom. But Surfer Girl got it first with Righteous Brothers, and then Daniel came in with the answer. So Surfer Girl, Cherie, and Daniel. So Cherie, you're on fire, and you get to pick the next category. Hardman. She's sticking with the 60s. Okay. Name the year. Name the year the Bay of Pigs military invasion of Cuba failed. The soft drink Sprite is launched. Russian ballet dancer Rudolph Nureyev defects to the West. And Catherine Wilby gets it first with 1961. And then Daniel. So Catherine Wilby and Daniel with 1961. Okay. Let me grab another 1960s card. Okay, Catherine Wilby, you get to choose the next category. And at 7 p.m., okay, 60s. We'll go with the 1960s. Catherine Wilby asked for it. Here we go. Next question. Which model synonymous with the 1960s had the real name Leslie Hornby? Which model synonymous with the 60s had the real name Leslie Hornby? And Surf Bum got it first with Twiggy. Catherine Wilby was second. It was Twiggy. Coming up at 7 p.m., the Disney Nerd Herders usually go live at 7 p.m. I'm not sure if they still are or not. I didn't see anything, but they might be. So check out the Disney Nerd Herders. I know Pete McDevitt's going live with his creator chat at 7. And then 8 p.m. usually D&G Explorers. And there's Drew. I believe it's either Drew in the Moment or Dad and Drew show at 8 p.m. And at 9 p.m., not sure if Monarch Moments is doing Wednesday nights or not anymore, but I know the This and That crew usually go live at 9 p.m. So, let's see who won that. John, you get to pick the next category. What category, John? We'll do a couple more questions here. The 70s. We're going to switch to 1970s. Yep, I got to pick a different card because we finished this one. Didn't realize that. Sorry. Okay, here we go. 1970s. Which president gave the famous "I'm not a crook" speech? Which president gave the famous "I'm not a crook" speech? Okay, Timothy Rainwaters, thank you for joining today. And you got 4 points today, Timothy. And let's see who got first. Catherine Wilby and John Surpham got it with Richard Nixon. Welcome in, Mary. Thank you for joining. But Catherine Wilby got it first and John got it second. Have a great night, Timothy, and thank you for joining. Okay, Catherine, you get to pick the next category. Did you answer Movie Mania, Nick? I'm sorry if you did. Let me double check on that. You got third place on that one. But let me double check something. Make sure I have the right chat going. Just in case. Yeah, it was Catherine Wilby, Surfbum John, and Movie Mania Nick on that one. And Catherine Wilby wants the 80s. 1980s. I don't think we had a question from here. No, we haven't. Okay, get ready here, Movie Mania Nick. Which Filmation cartoon character known as the Princess of Power debuted in 1985 as He-Man's twin sister? Yes, he was third. I'll give him a third place point there. And Daniel comes in first with She-Ra. She-Ra. And Catherine Wilby was second. So great job, Daniel. Yes, I see you, Movie Mania Nick. Okay, Daniel, you get to pick the next category. And maybe something is screwed up on my... Make sure that your red button is live. Maybe refresh there. Yeah, you guys are coming through. It's just in different spots. But I know Daniel, Catherine Wilby, and then Surfer Girl was third on that one. And Daniel wants the 2000s. A lot of you guys came in pretty fast on that one. Okay, the year 2000. Here we go. Name the title of the 2004 sequel to the film Meet the Parents, which starred Ben Stiller, Dustin Hoffman, and Barbara Streisand. Yeah, the way it comes on mine, it shows fourth when I refresh the screen. And Movie Mania Nick gets it first with Meet the Fockers. Meet the Fockers. It was Movie Mania Nick and Surfer Girl. Good job, Movie Mania Nick. And Surfer Girl. Yeah, when I was reading that, I'm like, okay, I imagine something's going to come wrong. Okay, Movie Mania Nick, you get to pick the next category. The 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000. Yeah, I was almost hesitant to not go with that question just because of that. And I see Pete is going live. He has Life with Roxana, who is the wife of our Disney fix, Aaron. But here we go. He wants the 1950s. I Walk the Line is a song written and recorded in 1956 by whom? I Walk the Line is a songwriter written and recorded in 1956 by whom? And Mary comes in first with Johnny Cash, and Dawn of Hitchhiking Bones is second. Well, good job, Mary and Dawn with Johnny Cash. Love his music. Yeah, there's a few songs I really like. Okay, a couple more questions. And we'll do 2 more questions. And Mary, you get to pick the category, the 70s. Okay, here we go. What species of deepwater shark was first discovered in 1976 off of Wahoo in Hawaii? Probably not a good question, but that was the next question. What species of deepwater shark was first discovered in 1976 off of Oahu in Hawaii? And Mary and Surf Bum got it first with great white shark. The great white. So let's see who was first again. Mary and then Surf Bum John. Good job, Mary. 70s again. I gotta switch cards because we're done with that one. Okay, here we go. Get your fingers ready. Which Atlanta Braves outfielder hit his 715th career home run in 1974, surpassing Babe Ruth's all-time mark? And Surf Bum John and Movie Mania Nick get it with Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron. Okay, John, you get to pick the final category for this evening. The final category. Someone other than me. It was Hank Aaron. I know here in Pittsburgh today at the Heinz History Center, they have a sports section at the Heinz History Center, and they're honoring the 1971 Pirate team. They fielded, it was all either Latinos or African Americans on the field during one of the games during the 1971 year of their playing baseball for the Pirates. We're going to do the 60s. 1960s. Okay, here we go. What was the Ford model that created the pony car class of muscle cars in the 1960s? What was the Ford model that created the pony class car in the 1960s? And Movie Mania Nick gets it with the Mustang. The Mustang. Great job, Movie Mania Nick. And John actually came in second. So we will go over, and John actually was the big winner today. Surf Bum John, he actually had 18 points. Catherine Wilby got second place with 13 points. Cherie and Daniel got 5 points each. Timothy Rainwaters had 4 points. 3 points. Movie Mania Nick got 3 points. Mary Tracy got 2 points. Actually, Movie Mania Nick, you got 4 points because you did answer an earlier question. So Movie Mania Nick, 4 points. Then all our 1 points to everyone was This Our Dreams, Brittany Mogan, Jonathan Chong, Dawn, and Mary, you had 2 points. So great job, everyone. Great job, Surf Bum. Thank you all for joining. I hope you guys have a great evening. I do appreciate that you come. If you haven't already hit that thumbs up button, please do so. It does help out the channel. If you're new watching and you haven't subscribed, please check out our videos and consider subscribing, because we go live, whether it's trivia, Disney, or things in and around Pennsylvania and Ohio and West Virginia. So have a great night, everyone, and I will see you in the chats. And thank you to Dean of the Live Place. So check out theliveplace.com if you're ever looking for a stream. He will have it all on theliveplace.com. Thank you very much, and let the adventures begin. Good night, everyone, and see you in the chats. Bye.